we are in the earnings season, and that's always exciting. Earnings season is like the NFL of stocks, like there is losers, then is winners. In this environment, it feels like there is more losers than winners. But that's how you know that you have to work harder to pick a winner. When things get hard, that's when a financial advisor job becomes harder. So let's see what is going on. Not financial advice though, not financial advice, just in entertainment only. All right. So what do we have? There is 2 dates we have to remember. February 4th, which is tomorrow, we have the jobs report, and February 10th we have another report, which is going to be the CPI data, the consumer index pricing, which is about inflation. So this is how you monitor inflation. That's how the Fed monitors inflation, through CPI data. Now, do they gather this data the right way? I don't think so, but they focus on this, so we have to learn to read them too. So, all right. Now, let's see, what do we have here? I'm gonna go back to my trusty thing. What happened today? So today, Facebook got killed. If you're wondering why Facebook got killed, and the entire market is moving on the downside now, in the morning we had a nice run up, right? In the morning. Now tomorrow, because we're expecting, look, like Tesla ran all the way up to, guys, 934. That's sweet. That's good stuff. So now we're down to 909, whatever. You see what happens now here. Facebook reported yesterday. Let's see. You see how Facebook reported February 2nd, and they missed on EPS, and that hurt them. But it didn't hurt them as much as talking about the metaverse and what they're focusing on and changing their entire business around. Investors and big whales with big money don't like that. They invest in Facebook for Facebook. They don't invest in Facebook for metaverse. Just like what happened in Tesla. Investors don't invest in Tesla for the robot they're planning to do. They're investing in Tesla for Tesla. And what is the core business of Tesla? Cars. So if you are going on a conference call, you better talk about cars. And if you want to work on a robot, go make that robot on your own time and make it amazing and shock the world when you reveal it and help the stock price go even higher. But don't talk about the robots while we're here to learn about your earnings, while your core business is cars. And I said this again, I'll say it one more time. People can learn from Apple and Apple's presentation abilities so much. Tim Cook came and gave us some positivity. He blew the numbers. He did a great job. And he talked about his core business. Maybe on the side, they're working on a car. Maybe on the side, they're working on 1,000 other things we'll never find out about. Nobody cares, though. His core business is what? Phones, tablets, hardware and software, computer industry. That's what he does right now. So he talked about his core business, and the stock market gave him a big applause. He brought great optimism in the market, but he did a great job presenting the data in the conference call. Elon Musk, he is a great guy and a really smart dude, and I love him, and I have so much money invested in Tesla, but he wanted to talk about robots while we're here to learn about your core business and how it did, the past quarter. So that's the misconnect there, if you're wondering what happened and why the Tesla plummeted. But Tesla beat on earnings and expectations. Here's the numbers. Tesla reported on January 26th, right here, all right, which is when this mayhem happened, and they beat by 6.88%. The EPS from 238, it was 254. They beat by 688, and then the revenue, they reported $1 billion more worth of revenue, so they beat by 6.49. Yeah, but they wanted to talk about robots, like I said, for a brief minute, and then in a market like this, things like investors punish you for that because they want to learn about your core business. What Elon should do right now to make Tesla a great, to position Tesla in a great situation right now. And if Elon, if you ever see this, please send me an autograph or something. But what he should do, he should talk about Austin, the plant in Austin, and he should talk about Berlin, what he's working on there. If he does these two things and he keeps talking, and then he streamlines production there, and then the numbers of deliveries are going to keep increasing, That's how he's gonna position himself to talk about his core business and not about robots or whatever else he wants to talk about. So anyway, enough about Elon because that's last week's news. But what happened yesterday to Facebook? Facebook did the same mistake, but let me show you. So Facebook made the same mistake, but they missed on the EPS from 382. They reported 367. They missed by 4%. And now that's not that common. They missed last quarter too on, I think, on revenue, right? Last quarter, yeah, they missed on revenue. But anyway, forget about last quarter. So they missed on EPS, and they want to talk about, guess what? Not their core business, which is Facebook and advertising and whatever and Instagram. They want to talk about metaverse and what they're becoming. Investors don't like this rebranding. They don't invest in you for who you're gonna be in the future. Just like you cannot sell a business for who you're gonna be in the future. You'll sell a business and you're gonna talk about the business you are now and whatever you wanna do in the future. Power to you, make it amazing, but as long as you don't have a product, don't make a mess over it. Like they're rebranding their name and everything. Personally, I wouldn't touch Facebook even if it was like $50. I don't like them. They're a miserable company, and many people they love them. So I'm sorry to be blunt, but I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. You know why? People ask, why don't I like Facebook? Well, the reason I don't like Facebook that much, it's because their practices, they're shady and they haven't evolved at all. Tell me what changed in Facebook between, like, yeah, they keep buying companies. They bought WhatsApp, they bought Instagram. Yeah, great job. And they kept them as they are and they improved them a little bit. Then now they copy TikTok, like everybody, YouTube does too. They put the shorts there. What is the revolution about Facebook? Please tell me. Like I told you, for me, investing is thinking of where the future is going, thinking hard. That's what makes this harder than real estate, because you got to pick a winner to win. In real estate, doesn't matter what you pick, like 90% of the time you'll make money on it, if you structure the deal right. But when it comes to stocks, you got to think where the future is going, and you'll be wrong many times. But the promise and the hope is that your winners will bring you so much more than your losers, that you're gonna do great. Right now, it's a tough market, so I'm not gonna put Facebook down too much, although I hate them with passion, like many people. And like I said, like they punish you. This market punishes you for making mistakes, even if you deliver great numbers. Tesla is a great example. So they punish you if you under deliver and you don't even talk to your investors about your core business. Now, was the whole conference call or whatever about that? No, but they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that you take focus out of your core business and talent and you put them to work on something that they don't know, they don't understand, they're not sure how it's going to perform, how you're going to position yourself in the future. So please, people, take lessons from Tim Cook. He did a great job. He works on a billion things, and Apple just said, here's what we did. Last quarter, we delivered great numbers. They delivered, they overperformed, and they got praised. This market punishes you if you make foolish mistakes, and they should know better. But anyway, that's it. So let me show you one more time just to make sure. Like, look at this. Like, Facebook is in the hole right now, and it's gonna be there for a while. Look at this, 239. Let me actually, I don't think you can see this, guys. There you go. There you go. You see? So 239. Look at this. Now this shows nothing, but these, the 5-day chart. Man, it's a painful market, guys. There were at some point, like Mark was down like $20 billion or whatever, but that's stock. But the idea and the whole point here is that you gotta tread carefully in this market, because they will punish you. Investors, they have no tolerance anymore, because they're scared, so they have no tolerance. The moment they hear stuff like this, like, oh, I'm out, I'm taking my millions, billions, bye-bye. All this money accumulated within the past 2 years, that was pretty much free money. Oh my God, now you start telling me things that I don't feel comfortable with. I'm not gonna lose it all on you, betting on you, bye-bye. So that's what's going on here now. Like I said, and they talk Meta faces now they're called Meta, by the way. So Meta faces historic stock rout after Facebook growth stalled. I really like. Can you please tell me, whoever invests in Facebook, why do you invest in Facebook? Other than numbers and EPS and PG and growth ratios or whatever, but why? What is it that makes it a innovative business that like you cannot miss out on? Please tell me, enlighten me, because I want to hear, I want to understand. Now, what we got here is Amazon earnings today. That's one thing that we got to be careful. They might miss too. That's going to be an interesting one. Now, other than Amazon earnings, like I said, we have, this is the CPI, Consumer Price Index, and we are January. So they're going to report for January on February 10th. So that's one date you have to remember. February 10th is the CPI data. And what is the CPI data? I'll show you soon. But right now, what we are looking for, it is, guys, this thing here. It says employment situation for January scheduled to be released on Friday, February 4th, which is tomorrow. So this is going to be a miss. All right. Like FYI, that's going to be a miss. Let's look at this. Like I was looking at this article. January jobs report may disappoint. All right. That's not a surprise. So it was the peak of Omicron. Many people took leave. And what it says here, this article, I mean, this guy here, the Jared, because he tries to like cover it up. He says, if you're not at work because you're sick or caring for someone who's sick and you're not getting paid, you are not counting as employed. So what he says is, in the peak of Omicron, which was last month, what he says, in the peak of Omicron, if you weren't working and you weren't getting paid, although you were employed, but you're taking some time off because of Omicron, you are not going to be counted as employed when they took this data. That's what he says. So this might mean that the report tomorrow is not going to depict the real situation, but it's going to be bad and it's going to be some pain, but it's okay. Like we used to pay in the past month. So yeah, we'll push through that. And then the CPI data, which shows inflation, and that's how the Fed makes decisions according to how bad inflation looks. It's February 10th, and that is not going to look too promising, I'm telling you, but it's okay. We believe in this market. Like I'm telling you, economy is strong. The American economy is strong. So why would you give up? You would give up on a strong economy just because, like the waters got patchy? No, stop investing on losers. Like at the end of the day, even if we go into a recession, whatever, it's gonna hold a year or whatever, and then after a year, guess what's gonna happen? Everything is gonna be great, and we'll be happy, and you invest on winners. And a winner is somebody that smashes the like button and buys Tesla. So anyway, the CPI data is about, like I said, inflation. Now, a brief thing I want to tell you before I go and show you some of the CPI data is, what is the Fed's job here? Because that's what everybody is afraid. So the Fed's job is very hard, but the Fed's job, it's the following, all right? The Fed's job is this. What the Fed has to do right now is control inflation, which is kind of out of control, which whatever. Inflation regulates itself. History shows this. Inflation is going to regulate itself. The question is how long it's going to take and how painful it's going to be, because it always regulates itself. Like inflation goes down, and then in moments like this, it comes up. Whatever, people focus on inflation more than anything else. It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, inflation regulates itself, but it's going to be painful. So the Fed's job, Jerome Powell's job, is to control inflation, okay? And that's pretty much his only job, and make sure that the economy is strong. Like, that's all. He has to make sure he doesn't cause a recession. And Janet Yellen, she better take him for a walk again like she did in 2018. He has to tread carefully. And even if inflation lingers a little bit longer, by the way, they have another issue going on here. Everybody talks about this in their conference call. Another issue that goes on right now is that we're halted at the ports, like they call them restraints, whatever it is, with supply chain issues. That's the name of it. We have a lot of supply chain issues too, by the way, right now. So we have to alleviate this. Once we alleviate this, because of the ports and the transportation, and then the amazing demand of things, because we just opened, so it's normal. After we regulate this thing, which is supply chain issues, I guarantee you, then we're slowly gonna see lower inflation. But if we don't take care of supply chain things, inflation is not gonna go away, and it's okay. But we're not gonna crash the entire economy just because right now everybody's complaining they cannot get chips, and right now everybody has to get off the unload. Oops, I hope I didn't get demonetized right now. Unload the freaking boats or whatever is going on. Now, I know I'm oversimplifying, and every single company, including Starbucks, they complain about, they reported yesterday too, and they missed, including Starbucks, they said about supply chain issues. Yeah, it's an issue. Like, things are out of stock. They are out of stock. But this country can overcome this, and we can do better than that, Other than that, what else we got here? It is CPI. That's what I promised to show you. CPI data. All right. So we got some CPI data. Oh, that's let me go back so you guys can see it better. Okay. So here is the website. It's called bls.gov. It's a government monitored website or whatever. So CPI data. CPI for all items rose 0.5% in December. Shelter and user cars, trucks, energy down. Trucks up, energy down. I'm gonna open the PDF here. That's last month's. Now this is gonna come out on February 10th for last month. So that's 2 months ago. This came out on January for December. So now on February is gonna come out for January. So on February 10th, we're gonna get the January CPI reports. Let me open this real quick. I mean, I'm telling you, investing in companies is boring. That's what you got to do all day. Look at stupid stuff like this. Okay, chart 1 month percent change CPI all urban consumers, seasonal adjusted, December 20, January 2021. All right, June. Okay, table A percent changes in CPI. All right, you got all items. Food 0.9%, December 0.5%. Food at home, food away from home. Okay. What did they say about something about used cars over there? There you go. Oh man, this is where they hit a lot, and you can see that. Look at this, like used cars and trucks, 10.5%. Oh yeah, in June 30. Okay, unadjusted 12 months, 37.3. Yeah, they hurt a lot in used cars. Like it's the inflation that it's insane. It's out of control. Food index increases 0.5% in December, following larger increases previous months. The food at home index increased 0.0. So food at home is like grocery store. Food is restaurants and whatever. I guess like I have to look into this more, but whatever. Okay, so it says the food index decreased 0.5% in December, following larger increase in each of the 3 previous months. The food at home index decreased 0.4% in December after rising 0.9% in November. 5 of the 6 major grocery food group indexes increased in December. The index for fruits and vegetables increased the most. Damn, man, fruits and vegetables are more expensive now. Come on, man. Come on. Energy is down, so that's good. For some people, the energy index declined 0.4%. So energy is cheaper now. So energy was cheaper in January than it was in December. All right. The index that's interesting stuff. Well, whatever. That's a lot of things here. If you guys are gonna look into it, like it's mind melting. And they put a ton of info here. But anyway, what you should know is if we see inflation through higher numbers here, just like the ones we saw. Let me actually put it back to me. So what you should know is if we see higher numbers in inflation and CPI data, the stock market is going to hurt February 10th. It's okay. Like I said many times, it's okay. There is going to be pain, and there will be pain, but we have faith, and I still do. And I know that Meet Kevin, by the way, sold all his stocks. Shout out to you, Meet Kevin. But I have faith that the Fed is going to do a good job, man. And I know that he says that he's looking for all these positive catalysts, because at the end of the day, stocks, they factor, and I'm going to close with that because we don't have too much time. But at the end of the day, stocks factor in the future. Stocks are a projection to the future, maybe 6 months. And when you see shaky stocks today, this means that the future doesn't look too bright. And when you see like green, nice stock market days, this means that the future looks good. So that's why we see the pain now, because the future doesn't look too good. But like I said, better be in it to win it than just be on the side like a crybaby. Now, meet Kevin. I know he's a long-term holder and investor. So other than a swing trader, he believes in companies, he buys them. He's just looking for positive catalysts, like many people now. That's what Meet Kevin looks, and that's what many people in this stock market look, positive catalysts. Like we see at the close, we see these sell-offs, we see people selling every rally. These are bad signs. Okay, it is what it is, but be in it to win it. Uh, I have faith in the Fed. I believe they'll do a good job. Let's see what's coming. I love you guys. Like I said, be in it to win it. And long term investors, they're always getting rewarded. So, catch you guys on the next one. Actually, catch you guys on the next one.